Hello, this is Michael Jill, and today I'll be doing an unboxing and review of the Sofirn SC32. It came in this box, quality, innovation, value, and this is how a lot of the Sofirn products come. Over here is the instruction manual. We'll take a quick look at it if you want to read any of it. Here is the information. And inside the box, like most other Sofirn devices, you get your 3-foot charging cable. This is obviously USB 2.0 because it's just a charging cable. As you can see, USB 2.0, it's a little bit has like a rubber texture. Here is the lanyard and the spare O-rings. It comes with 2 O-rings. And here is the actual flashlight. It always has this foam pad underneath in order to protect it, and comes in this bubble wrapped little bag. Pull it out over here. And as you can see, it comes with this little readme, I guess, that says, please take out the insulation paper so that way the flashlight will start working. We can take that off. Let's take a look at the physical body design of the flashlight. It says Sofirn SC32, and this is the high CRI version. We're going to talk about that soon. That's what it says. And it also has an indicator for heat and this lettering over here that they seem to be writing on all of them. It also has a battery indicator over here to show you, not the battery life, but to show you the direction that the battery should be going in. There is a reversible clip here, which is very common among these flashlights. You can easily pull this off. Not so easily, but you can take it off, so that way you could just have the flashlight if you so desire. I'm going to leave it off for now while we go over the rest of the design. You cannot put the clip anywhere else, but you could put it the other way, which I wouldn't recommend. There's no reason to. That would be silly. But I like the knurling here. It makes it easier to hold. I guess if your hands get sweaty or it's raining, something like that. This part does not actually come off. It looks like it would, but it just opens in one place, and I'll show you that in a second. Over here is, I guess, also a kind of knurling, so that way maybe you can hold it while you open it, but you could also hold it over here. So I guess there's no real reason for this. There is a nice tail switch. This is the same type of tail switch that I have seen in a bunch of other flashlights. It comes in the IF23, I believe, has the same exact switch, and it is a tail switch, so I guess it's a tactical light, but it is a tail switch similar to the TS10, which I love. Honestly, this switch, in my opinion, is one of the best ones made. I think the only other switch I like better is the Workhorse FC13. That switch is amazing. We're going to talk more about the comparison between this flashlight and other flashlights, but so far I like the tail switch. If you do prefer a button switch on the side, I guess this would not be the light for you, but if you do prefer a tail switch, that's the light for you. And it has little grooves over here and little grooves over here. I guess these fins could help with heat dissipation if it does get very hot. There is a little indicator light over here, and that will tell you, I guess, the charging status. Let's talk about the charging port and test its charging capabilities. Over here, as you can see, and you can hear if you open it, that it has a seal, which is really nice. Now, let's talk about something that I really find very annoying with a lot of these flashlights, is that my regular charging cables don't fit. So let's test this one out, and ooh, it looks like it does not fit either, which is disappointing. Oh well, so we have to use the original cable that it comes with. What they need to do is change the design a little bit to be more like the, for example, FC11, which is the original design, and it just has a nice big spot for you to plug in your Type-C cable. Even some of the cables sold on the Sofirn website don't seem to have adequate space for the cable to go in, and I don't have any C-to-C cables that actually fit into here, which makes it hard when I'm trying to do reverse charging. But here is the cable that the Sofirn flashlight comes with, and that was the wrong one. This one is the one that the Sofirn flashlight comes with, and as you can see, it plugs in perfectly, and it blinks red until it blinks green to let you know that it is fully charged. But right now, it's in the mode of, I guess you could call it lockout mode, but really it just has that film in between, so it really thinks it's fully charged, but it's not. But I'm really happy that it has a built-in port, so that way you can charge it and you don't have to take the battery out, because that can be really annoying, and you can just charge it on the go. Some flashlights do make you and require you to take the battery out for, I guess, waterproofing functions, or just because they were too cheap to put in a USB-C, or if they didn't want to waste the space. But I think that it's much more convenient and well worth it to have this port over here. Since the button is actually on the bottom, I believe that's why there is a light indicator. Let's talk about the body a little bit more. It's made out of a material called a 6061 aluminum alloy, and If we look at the top over here, we'll see that it has a very nice bezel. I believe this is called a Fresnel lens, the way that it is like layered here, as you can see the different circles. It's using a 519A. There are versions that also come with the SSD40, but I think those are discontinued and you can't get them on Amazon. But I like the 519A anyway. It's a really good LED, and honestly, one of my favorites. I have about 4 or 5 flashlights that use the 519A, and I'm very happy with them. Using the 18650, it's able to output 1300 lumens, which is I guess the higher end of a standard 18650 flashlight. So that's very nice. It's nice that you can see that it can do that. It is able to do a high CRI. High CRI basically means that it has a better color rendering. So CRI stands for color rendering index. So having a higher level of CRI gives you a more realistic view of what the flashlight's actually able to see. So for example, if you're using a I guess a higher tint, this is a lower tint. I believe the tint is closer to 2700, but it doesn't mention anywhere the exact tint. And therefore it is 90 CRI, meaning that it has a very good, actual color indexing. Let's open it up and take a look at the battery inside. And this is the only place that you can unscrew it. You can unscrew it from the bottom. You take out this little thing that says remove. And if we take out the battery, we'll see it's a 3000 milliamp hour battery. It's an 18650 made by Sofirn, and it is rechargeable just by the little port in here. And we're gonna put it back in, but inside you can see it's just a, it's a spring in there. Put it back in over there and close it up. Make sure you follow the battery indicator over there. Once you close it up, you will be able to use it. And as you can see, it looks like actually more like 4000. And when this light's green, that means that its battery level is good. When it turns red, that means the battery level is getting low. And when it turns blinking red, that means it has a critical low battery. We're going to do an outside test at the end of the video to show you the exact, I guess, how it looks outside. You can see the hotspot and how much of a flooded it has. We'll also test the CRI and see how that works. Now let's talk about some more, I guess, features that it has. So first of all, it does have reverse polarity. That means that if you put it in the wrong way, oh, now it's showing me that it's lower power. So I guess we can charge it and charge it back up to the green. It does have reverse polarity. That means if you put the battery in backwards, it will not cause any issues, and it will just won't start, which is nice. It has temperature regulation. That means that if you were to use it for a very long time and it gets very hot, because this is already starting to get warm, then it will start lowering the light to be able to not heat up too much that it will I guess cause it to break. So it's really nice. It has LVP, so that means if the voltage is very low and the blinking light is red, it will just turn off in order to not damage the battery or the flashlight. So that's nice. It does have waterproof IPX8 rating, which means that it is fully waterproof, but you shouldn't be diving with it. It's not a diving light. I believe Sofirn also sells diving lights, so you can take a look into that. But it can definitely work in the rain for sure, even underwater. It has an impact resistance of up to 3 meters. That's like 6 feet or 7 feet or something like that. So if it were to fall, it will still be able to continue working. Let's talk about the operating instructions. If you press it once, it obviously turns on. If you hold down, it will switch between different modes of brightness, and it has 4 different modes, so you can easily switch between them. If you double click 1, 2, it'll turn on turbo, which is basically the highest mode. After maybe about 30 seconds, it will start lowering its brightness in order to not heat up too much, but you can already feel it heating up. If you click 1 time, it will switch back to its normal mode and switch from turbo to normal. If you click it 3 times, 1, 2, 3, it will do what's called strobe. And this could be good for a lot of different reasons, but what people use it for a lot of times is for an attacker. I guess that's the tactical part of it, so that's nice. If you click it 1 more time, it'll switch back to normal mode. Now there's a mode called moonlight mode, which is basically the lowest, I believe the lowest amount of power. I think it's 1 lumen. So what you do is turn into turbo mode. Once it's in turbo mode, double click again and it'll go into moonlight mode. So that's really nice. You can barely even see the light in person. On the flashlight on the camera you can, and then if you hit it again, it'll just switch into normal mode again. So, and then turn off after you click 1 more time. There's also something called lockout mode. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will blink 2 times like that, letting you know it's in lockout mode. When it's in lockout mode, when you press the button, it just turns on moonlight mode, and then when you let go, moonlight mode is off. So that's how lockout mode works. You click 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, and lockout mode turns off, and now you're back in the regular, I guess, function. Now, when the light is off and you click 4 times, it turns on lockout mode, but when the light is on and you click 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, it switches into something called ramping mode, or stepless, whatever you want to call it. But basically, when you hold down in this mode, instead of having the different brightness levels, it will kind of like steplessly go between the brightnesses. So you can hold down for the exact amount of brightness that you want. It'll remember that brightness for next time. So right now I'm holding it down, and over, I guess, a span of about 4 or 5 seconds, it'll switch to moonlight from turbo. So if you hold it down, it'll go straight up into the highest mode that it can. So that's pretty cool. So if you like that mode better, then you can use that. Otherwise, you could switch back to the step mode. It depends on your preference, what you like. There's also a mode called switch lockout mode. I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of that mode is, and after trying to figure it out for a while, I don't see any purpose in it. So I'll just mention it real quick. If you unlock it a little bit, it'll still work completely. But if you turn on lockout mode and turn this, it will keep its brightness. But I don't really see a point to that. Just, you can easily just have the flashlight on or whatever it is. I don't know if you're worried about pressing buttons, whatever it is. But if you're willing to do the research onto that and figure out exactly what that's supposed to do, then great. By the way, this model is called the SC32 HCRI version. There is also a regular SC32, which I guess you can choose the different tints, but this one comes with the high CRI, which I believe is 4000, so 4000K, and provides you with a high color indexing light. So let's compare the Sofirn SC32 HCRI to a bunch of other popular flashlights on the market. And one that I would compare it to is the Workhorse FC11. The FC11 is Workhorse's flagship flashlight and very popular. It's an 18650 flashlight, and right now I have the 18350 battery inside, but usually it comes in 18650 form. And therefore both of them provide the same amount of light, which is around 12 to 1300 lumens, which is a very nice amount of light. They both have very nice LEDs. This one has the 519A inside. I forgot exactly what LED is in here, but it could be the 519A as well. The similarities between them are the size, I guess, and the fact that both of them are simple. They have a simple user interface. They're on and off ramping mode, stepless mode. You have moonlight mode, lockout mode. But there are a few differences. First of all, this one comes with a single-sided clip, whereas the SC32 comes with a double reversible clip, which is nice. The FC11 is, I guess, a little bit cheaper than the SC32. The FC11 does have a magnetic tail cap, whereas the SC32 has a switch on the back, and therefore it's not magnetic. The switch over here for the FC11. A few other things that are maybe different is that the FC11 has 2 places that it opens, which is on the top and the bottom, whereas the Sofirn SC32 only opens on the top. Therefore, you cannot get a smaller tube in order to make it shorter, unless they have the whole bottom, which is smaller. I don't know. It could be that they do carry that, or they will carry that. So that's something else that is, I guess, different. Another thing that is a little bit different is that I noticed that the SC32 is a little bit thinner. I think it's a lot more elegant, honestly, than the FC11. So if you're looking for something to carry every day, this might be a big difference. The fact that it's like a, I guess, similar shape all around, whereas this gets a little bigger and a little bit smaller over there. They both have very, very reputable LEDs. This one having the 519A, and this one, I forgot exactly what it was, but everyone is a very big fan of it. The SC32 is more waterproof than the FC11. I believe this is IPX7, this is IPX8. Exactly what the difference is, I'm not exactly sure. As you can see, the bezel, this one has that circle bezel, while this one just has kind of a more simple bezel. I like the FC11 better because it does have a bigger spot for the charger to go into, and therefore my regular anchor charger will fit inside, whereas this one, it has a smaller charger hole, and only the charger that comes with Sofirn Workhorse devices will actually fit. Hopefully one day that'll be repaired, but for now that is a con. We could also compare it to the FC13, which I also do recommend. However, this one comes with the Android 2. It has a light-up switch over here. A lot of different features that are just different between the flashlights. This one has an orange bezel and is much more chunky. As you can see, it has a light-up switch. I do like the switch on this a lot. However, I also like this switch on the SC32 a lot. So both of them have a nice switch in their own way, which I think is pretty cool. So Other than that, I definitely recommend this. I would call this an elegant carry flashlight. It's nice, it's small. I really like the shape of it and the way it looks. It just looks good. It looks nice. Whereas honestly, the Workhorse FC11, it's a very good flashlight. I wouldn't call it an elegant, nice flashlight. Where I would call this definitely an elegant, nice flashlight. And especially with the rounded Frenzel bezels, I'm a big fan. I would definitely recommend this as far as aesthetics go. As far as how it performs, it does perform very well, and I would give them a very similar score, I guess. You know, they're both running on the same battery, and they both provide just around the same amount of light. So I would commend both of them on that. Okay, we are outside, and we are going to do the night outdoor test with the SC32 HCRI, and here is the lowest mode it's on. Obviously, you probably won't be able to see it very well, and I want to start ramping it up, and as I ramp it up, you could see it more and more. And now we are on the highest setting. This is turbo, and there is not such a tight hotspot. It's very floody. You can see a hotspot, but it's not that bright. As you can see, it does a really great job lighting up the entire area. I think for multi-purpose use, this can be really incredible, and it does have a very realistic, you know, a very high color index, CRI, color rendering index. So I think that's very nice. Let's try the FC13. And this is the FC13. We're going to turn it on to turbo. And as you can see, there's a much tighter hotspot, and the color rendering is not as good, in my opinion. But there are obviously, you know, pros and cons to every light. So yeah, I do like the FC13, but you can see the difference easily. And now we're going to test the last one right here, which is the FC11. And here is the FC11, and here it is on turbo. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Let's get back inside. Hope you enjoyed those night shots. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe. Comment if you can. I'm really trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and have a great day.